I read Michael Fullan's work. I was reading all these things and from all these great people about organizations and how you get everyone operating in the same way. And frankly, the contemporary research and literature is all speaking to nature. Why are people writing about bees and birds when thinking and talking about organizational shifts and changes? Check these superorganisms out. Millions, hundreds of thousands of fish, birds, individual systems of people or persons or animals operating as one. Check out how they move and shift. They're operating under simple rules. The simple rules that you're seeing here are stay together, equal distance apart, avoid predation, and same direction. Just 4 words, four simple rules. And you'll see the fish coming through and they'll separate and then they'll come right back together. When I started the first time, I thought about APPR coming through and us separating, wondering if we were going to come back together. I've put down all those books and all that late night reading, and I'm just watching nature and watching how superorganisms. Yeah, I guess that's, you're reading too much, stop reading, huh? But here are some other ones. Another superorganism, I like this one. So what you're seeing right now is water. So check out this superorganism, they're fire ants, operating under one simple rule. The simple rule is to stay together. APPR, a stick is trying to puncture them, get in the way. They're not separating because they're operating under a simple rule. This is what we do, we stay together. That's all we do. No matter what's happening, they've created some kind of a raft right there. I hope I'm not offending some of you true nature lovers. I'm just starting to get used to this thing and watching nature. So we've seen some animals operate as superorganisms. What about people? Can we operate as superorganisms? Check this out. Since moving to New York, I've become a NASCAR fan. This is Bristol, Tennessee, setting the world record not long ago. 158,000 people doing the wave. How do you have 158,000 people doing the same thing? Using simple rules. The simple rule here is when the person next to you stands up, you stand up and sit down. And because of it, they set a world record. By some 50,000 fans. That was cool.
Let's do it.
I figured birds, waves is all good with Lee Genethal. So I realize now, team, that I've been thinking about it all wrong. I'm not saying you've been thinking about it all wrong, but I know I have. I've been doing this work a long time. I've read every book you can think about as far as organizational change, organizational theory, systems thinking. I've read all that stuff, and I'm realizing I've thought about it all wrong. I'm realizing no matter what we've done, this is pretty much what particularly school districts have looked like. A bunch of people operating around a document. How many strategic plans have we done? And everyone's looking at that strategic plan from their own perspective. How many documents do we interact with on a daily basis, knowing that everyone is looking at it from a different perspective, including contracts? We have operated around a document for a long, long time, including some of the ones I just wrote in the last year and a half for you. The command and control. Remember the good old org charts? How have org charts stifled our thinking? I'm going to wait until the person who's in charge or the supervisor tells me what to do on that one. Well, I'm going to have to run that by Dr. Brown. Oh, Jason's in a new role. Let me figure out what he thinks about it. We've created these systems by charts that we put in place. Here we go, strategic dinosaurs. Those strategic plans that we put in place, I've been presenting for a year now that 5- and 10-year strategic plans are obsolete. Now I know they're obsolete. There are a lot of folks who are strategic planners going around this country making millions of dollars developing strategic plans for organizations. They're 5- and 10-year plans. You come up with a plan, and then there's a linear progression to a goal. All these things have been the things we have been doing as school districts and organizations for many, many years. And I'm presenting to you today that they're all wrong, that we must think and work differently. How do we become that superorganism, a super organization operating from the same mental model? APPR, we spent some time. We've probably spent more time on APPR than anything we've spent time on since I've been here. We had the ITEA with the administrators for 3 whole days not long ago trying to come up with a simple mental model around APPR. How are we going to implement it? What is it going to look like? We actually built little Lego representations of the thing. We left that room all on the same page. Now we know the state's going to change it every day for the next year. But we vowed to use this process to grow and learn. And we will. Our process is going to be different from most districts. We're not buying tests, we're building our own tests. We're taking a team-based approach to the SLO piece. If you don't know SLO right now, it's a bad word. You'll learn about it later. We get APPR. We left that room knowing we're going to use it to learn and grow from, not something to invoke fear and to challenge and to upset people. We're going to use that process, this process, to grow and to learn. Dynamic networks. Our new org chart is more like a circle. We don't have the superintendent at the top, assistant superintendent, and on down. Or in the building, the principal, the secretary, or the secretary above the principal. We're moving away from, yeah, y'all can tell I've been a principal for, right? I'm presenting to you that we must all operate as leaders. We've been talking about that distributed leadership model for a while. It's now time to put those things into action plans and to really operate like that. And focused but adaptive. This is us. It has to be us. Yes, much is going to come at us. Yes, we have plans in place. Yes, we know where we want to go. Our continuous improvement plan for special education is more like a general education plan. We're saying we're going to eliminate achievement gaps and we're going to proportionally identify students who have disabilities. Lofty goals that we have set for 3 years. We know that how we get there is going to change and we're going to have to adapt in order to do so. Focus and adaptive. So we can shift to vision. Now I'm clear about what my vision is for the Ithaca City School District. What I wish for us to be are 6,000 thinkers. I could use this image. I could just say that. I can speak to this. If we have 6,000, counting our young people and the folks in this room, if 6,000 of us are thinking critically, solving problems, synthesizing, evaluating, pushing one another, we are the best school district in the country. We are excellent. This picture is of Ithaca too. I'm trying to be cute here. This is Ithaca. And these little red dots, I tried the schoolhouses, y'all, it didn't work, but the little red dots are our schools. Yes, that's Caroline and Enfield. Where are you? Yeah. But you're still part of us. You're still 6,000 thinkers. 6,000 thinkers. When someone asks me now, I'm hoping that in the grocery stores, Wegmans, Tops, whatever other grocery stores, I didn't know we had any others here, but what other grocery stores we have here, people can speak to this. The gas station, community members, anyone can say, what is the Ithaca City School District going after? We're going after 6,000 thinkers. So what is it that we do? Again, I struggled with relationships, rigor, and relevance, and how we did that. So I'm presenting to you this morning that we do these verbs. We empower. Yes, we build relationships with young people. We build relationships with one another. We do those things to take down the barriers that exist for achievement. How do we create situations for our young people to be thinkers and to achieve? Knowing all along that our own perspectives are oftentimes the biggest barrier. You're mistaken if you don't think you struggle. I struggle with it every day when I look at a young person and I see what they look like or what background they're coming from or what their parents are doing or not doing. We have some perspectives that too often have gotten in the way of allowing for a young person to achieve. I know that's happened for me. How do we take into account our own perspectives and all the other barriers that are in front of our young people and take those down in a way so that they can achieve? So we empower young people. We have an understanding of those things and we know how to break them down. Educate. This is the new term for rigor for me. How do we educate young people? How do we design opportunities for our young people and adults to synthesize, analyze, evaluate, have critical conversations about the work? We did that with the leadership team a few weeks ago. That's when we put Legos out there and said, go build and go create. When we wanted to have a simple mental model for some very complex things. How do we educate? We will educate. Empower, educate, and finally engage. That's where relevance comes into play. Everyone in this community, in this county, in this state should be engaged in the work that's happening right here. We must figure out how to make it relevant to them, whether that's a young person or an adult. How do we help a community member who doesn't have kids in the school district understand the budget process? We need to figure out how to engage them in that conversation. How do we make relevant algebraic concepts in first and second grade? That's coming with Singapore math, I think. How do we make that relevant to a young person who's just learning how to interact with numbers? As master educators, regardless of our role, regardless of who you are in this room, you must be able to engage folks in the work of the school district. I'm presenting to you, if these are our simple rules, then we achieve excellence. Empower, educate, and engage to achieve our vision of having 6,000 thinkers. What systems do we have in place? We've all been guilty of saying there's so much coming at us. There's so much coming at us. How are we going to make sense of it? I'm presenting to you that we break things into parts. We truly only have two major systems. These boxes, I know there were about 200 folks who were here this summer who worked with Laura and Derek, and we worked on some of these visual representations. This will all make sense to everyone soon. But these boxes represent systems. The little circle represents the relationship between systems. I'm presenting to you that we have two systems, a teaching and learning framework for excellence and one for evaluation. The excellence one is about what we do and how we do it, our craft. And some of you heard the art and the science around teaching and learning. How do we do this work? We have our teaching and learning framework. We have the Danielson model. We have several different documents or structures in place that allow us or tell us or show us how to do this work. That's a system that we must continuously improve and work on. And then there's evaluation. That's where APPR is. That's where our Board of Education priorities are. Metrics, evaluation systems, in order to improve other systems. If John King had not come here, or had we not entered into the Race to the Top grant, we still would be doing some kind of evaluation system because that's what we do. It may not be called APPR, it may be called something different. It would be a rubric-based system. It would define good teaching and learning. We would have that regardless. It's just called APPR here. I'm presenting to you now, we have two major systems, the how and the what. The Common Core is a part of that how and the what. That are here to your left, and then how we evaluate it. And those two in great organizations must constantly interact. I'm pushing y'all this morning, I know that. I'm pushing y'all to think, because I'm struggling with this kind of thinking. Today wasn't going to be about rah-rah, let's go have a whole lot of fun. I want you to think about this as we push towards being those 6,000 thinkers. If we do all this well, if we constantly improve on our systems, if we understand our mission and our simple rules, and how those simple rules and that mission allows us to achieve our vision, then we're doing systems thinking. Now I just saved all of you about 45, 50 hours of reading. Peter Senge, Michael Fullen, all those crazy folks making millions of dollars writing about systems thinking. And I'm serious about that. Any of you taking an administrative course, I just saved you a lot of time. What we just went through was systems thinking in 10 minutes. What I'm looking at right now are 1,100 people who've gone, I'm hoping, from a workforce to a think force. If we think in this way, if we stay true to our simple rules, if we understand that we're going after having 6,000 thinkers as an organization, if we truly understand that we have two major systems, the how and the what we do, which are some simple things, and we have how we evaluate it. And we're going to always do those things, regardless of who's on this stage, regardless of who's out there. That's what we do as an organization. That's systems thinking, and we have now a think force. I'm so proud. I now have everything on one slide. Check this out. And I'm feeling even better because I think I explained it to 1,100 folks in 10 minutes. When someone calls me, when someone calls you, you can send them this. This is what the Ithaca City School District is about. Here's your PowerPoint. Take it to your class. We have 6,000 thinkers. That's our vision. Our mission, this is what we do. Empower, we educate, we engage. Two major systems that we're constantly improving that must interact with one another in order for the other to be great. And finally, we think about all these things all the time in order to improve and to meet our vision. That's one slide. Check this out. I got it on one page too. And this is busy. We have some of these charts outside. We're going to be sending these things out. It's still in beta form, and we're going to change some things. Please don't pay much attention to this little graph over here. I was trying to be cute. That's supposed to be DNA. And I'm trying to say that this one-pager is part of our organizational DNA. And then I met Carlin Gray and some other biologists. And Carlin, she argued with me for an hour about the visual representation of this piece of DNA. I'm just telling y'all, don't worry about it. It's just a picture, Carlin. But anyway, I had to get you back. I got the mic. Anyway, so pay attention to everything else on the one page when you see it around. It describes vision, mission, systems, and systems thinking. And then you'll see to the right, our ICSD 6,000 Thinkers representation, our mission, our simple rules, our systems, and our think force.